Hello everyone, coming on for our daily live Rise Up Challenge day number 21. This is our 21st live in a row. As you can see, Sir Hardy is here tonight over here having a fit. So as you're coming on, hello. Hey, she's from Chicago. Hi, sweetheart. Hello. We're coming in late tonight, guys. I just got out the shower. All I got on is some moisturizer and some lip gloss. No makeup tonight. Right? Got my Invisalign retainers in, moisturizers on, right? Hair's conditioned, teeth are brushed. I'm ready for night. Hello from London. Hi, sweetie. Hi, Tolu. Hello, honey. Yeah, I'm getting ready to get in my bed. Okay, my bed. That's what Carrie says. How I say it all the time. My bed. So yeah, coming on, fresh face, no makeup, my lip gloss, right? One of the things I've learned though, guys, like you've seen me tag my glam squad in my posts, right? This is a baby pug. He's a baby pug. Say hi. One of the things that I've learned, guys, because I've been tagging my glam squad in the videos, so you guys know who's responsible for keeping me looking good. One of the things I have is eyelash extensions, and I got my eyebrows done, and just those two things, right? Hi, Madeline. Just those two things, my eyebrows and having my lashes done. Like right now I have on nothing on my skin except moisturizer, and I've got some lip gloss on. Yeah, Hardy is truly a baby. Yep, Hardy, Hardy. Yep, like Ed Hardy. Yeah, I have my moisturizer on, but I'm gonna have to share with you guys my my skin routine and everything I go through. I got an esthetician last year and started really taking really good care of my skin, and it has made such a huge difference. He's biting my hair. It has made such a huge difference. Like, oh my God, like my skin, it just feels great, but it's like a whole system that I use. So I'll have to share that with you one day. Hey, honey. Okay, you're acting crazy for the people. We're about to get into our topic for tonight. The topic I'm going to cover tonight, I've been inboxed about or emailed. Well, first, let me make an announcement. So in a couple weeks, I'm going to start doing a live show once a week. I haven't decided on the night yet and the time, but I'm going to do one night a week, and it's going to be the Rebecca Lynn Pope Show. And I'm going to bring on guests who have questions, coaching questions, right? Coaching questions. Giving me a run for my money, RLP. You got to step my game up. You're looking good. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. I'm trying to take care of myself, honey. We got to take care of ourselves. We got to take care of ourselves, our routine. But I'm going to start a show, and it's going to be the Rebecca Lynn Pope Show. It's going to be Real Talk with Rebecca. I don't know what we're going to call it. Maybe it's just the Rebecca Lynn Pope Show. But I'm actually going to bring on guests live with me so we can answer. I'm going to coach and answer questions live. So if you or someone you know has a question and wants to come on to the live IG show once a week, we've set up a brand new email. It's live@RebeccaLynnPope.com. And if you're wanting to be someone who gets some live coaching or get some questions answered live on the show, then send an email to live@RebeccaLynnPope.com. So send your questions. If you're willing to be live with me, that means you're going to come on the screen, and the screen's going to split, and I'm going to do a live show once a week, okay? Once a week. And I'm going to bring on a guest, and we're going to answer questions live and have you on live with me as well. So if you're willing to be a guest, send an email to live@RebeccaLynnPope.com, okay? So you can look to be on the show. So I'm going to start taking those requests and people who are submitting questions. We're going to start taking that now because we're going to start doing that here in just a couple weeks. We're going to do a live show with guests and answer questions. So you guys could really be able to see the coaching process and see how that's done, from a professional coaching perspective. And it's like, I think it's always better to show you better than I can tell you. Right? So even though I don't take one-on-one coaching clients anymore, we are getting ready for our new Abundant Life platform where you're going to be able to hire Abundant Life coaches, and you're going to be able to take courses And so getting an introduction to what that looks like and being able to work with our certified coaches who are trained in our methods for healing and abundant life. So that'll be it's going to be great. It's coming. All right. So tonight's topic is abstinence. I got inboxed or emailed about abstinence. Hardy, you're going to have to go down on the floor because you're not going to let me talk. I got emailed about abstinence, and tonight I'm going to keep it short and sweet. So tonight is the pros and cons of abstinence. So ladies, this one's for you. We know that 99.9% of men are not abstinent. So when we have these discussions, ladies, it is for us, for women. So I'm going to start off by saying this. I've said for years, and I don't really know that I've really said it in any videos. I've put some of it into the new book, Nice for What book. And one of the things that I'm going to start off with the pros, okay? The pros of abstinence, ladies, is that you don't get yourself wrapped up emotionally through sexual intimacy with people that you have no business getting emotionally attached to. So you're able to better vet, better qualify men, listen, pay attention to actions, pay attention to who they are, because you're not getting wrapped up. Sex complicates things. Sex makes women emotional. As I said, it makes women emotional, not men. There's actually biological research that shows that there is a cascading effect of hormones and chemical reactions as a woman becomes attached to a man sexually, that her brain and her body actually imprint or connect or attach to a man. It's your biology. There is no same effect in a man. In other words, in a woman's biology, there's a reason you get so attached to a man that you're having sex with, okay? There is a biological mechanism inside of you that attaches to him, and it's all based on our animal nature that is trying to get you to have sex with him as many times as possible and keep having sex with him so that you can get pregnant and keep the human species alive. I mean, it's kind of like basic biology. However, there is no chemical effect in a man. So ladies, practicing abstinence can definitely help you in managing your emotions, managing who you get attached to in much deeper ways. And I've done a sexual and a sex video before on sexual compatibility and all of that. I'm not going to go into that tonight. But what I will say is that the pros of abstinence is keeping you better positioned to be emotionally balanced, to stay logical, to make wise decisions, right? To vet and qualify as you're in the dating process and getting to know people. Now, that's huge, right? I mean, that's really, really huge. And in this society we now live in, right? It's a huge advantage. I'm not going to cite the Bible as wisdom for this. I'm going to cite wisdom in general for this, because everybody's moving so fast and running through each other so fast that this is why people are hurting so much, right? The more you slow down and take your time before attaching emotionally, spiritually, mentally, sexually with another human being, the more you're protecting your heart, protecting your mind from damage, from heartbreak, from disappointment, from rejection, because you're not so, getting involved with people and connecting and attaching to people that can hurt you. Okay. So now, that being said, huge advantage, huge advantage, okay? Because you don't know who's being serious and who is sincere or who is intentionally really serious about you until you really slow down and take sex off the table, right? Take sex off the table, see who he is, see his intentions, listen and pay attention to his behavior, okay? So that's the pros. That's the pros of abstinence. Now, one of the few things I want to share about the downside of abstinence that I have seen over the years of coaching and just coaching women in general, and just the downside. There is a huge downside to abstinence that I want to point out for women who are really practicing abstinence, because it's some things you need to be aware of and some things that tend to happen because the way most women approach abstinence. Now, I will say this, and I've said this before. Most of you guys who are calling yourselves abstinent are not really abstinent, okay? You are just between people you like. Like you're calling yourself abstinent because you've been single now 6 months, a year and a half, but you're only doing that because you haven't met anyone. You haven't met anyone, and you're not interested in anyone, and you're not dating anyone right now. So you're calling it abstinent, but I don't really truly consider that abstinent. Abstinence to me, right? Abstinence to me is when you actually abstain even when you're tempted, even when you really like someone, even when you go into a relationship, even when you are dating someone and you're both really attracted to each other and this is headed towards a relationship. That's abstinence, guys, right? I don't really consider it abstinence when you're not having sex because there's no prospects, because you don't like anyone. Does that make sense, guys? Like, to me, I think a lot of women will call themselves abstinent, but that's not tested. That's not vetted. You're not in any situation where someone's pressing your buttons and you really like them, and you're now abstaining from sex for your faith reasons, religious reasons, moral reasons, whatever your reasons are for being abstinent. That's okay. The dog is absolutely tripping. When I say he is like a baby, y'all, Hardy, the other puppy's Haley. Hardy, go sit down somewhere. So that's true abstinence, which is why I think that abstinent women get a really bad rap, because I've heard from men for years, Rebecca, these women ain't abstinent. They talking out the side of their neck, they abstinent, I'm Christian, I'm abstinent, I ain't having sex with you. And they wear that on their sleeve as soon as they're meeting somebody, and it's coming out of your mouth. But then as soon as you meet somebody you really like, ladies, you chasing him down, running him around the bedroom, and it's gotten a bad reputation because men are like, they don't believe you. So for those of you who are really, really abstinent or sticking to your guns about that, you have to realize that when men are not respecting it, or they're trying you, or they're testing you, it's because they've tested and tried that with other women who said they were abstinent and it worked. The women gave in. The women, they were knocking boots. And the men were like, yeah, okay, you abstinent. They're not. Right? So that means that you've got to understand and be patient in the process, because you're the one who's abstinent. 99.9% of the men you meet are not practicing abstinence. Okay? So that's get that out of the way. Yes, some women wear that abstinence badge very proudly. Yes. So for those of you who are practicing abstinence, want to practice abstinence, here's the downside. The downside I've seen over the years is that you lose touch with your sexuality, and you lose touch with your femininity, because it tends to take so much boundaries. It tends to take so much discipline. You in your mind, you are literally making sex off limits, which means that in your mind, you sort of start detaching from your sexuality. You start detaching and turning off that side of your nature, right? Now, over time, that can be really dangerous and really have a downside effect, because if you meet someone and now you're in love and you guys are headed towards marriage, you don't often realize that if you've now been programming your brain for years that sex is bad, sex is bad, sex is bad, what we've seen in marriages where they waited and to have sex and get married, now you're having sexual issues inside your relationship, inside your marriage. Now, sidebar, let's come over here for 1 second. A lot of women are hiding trauma behind abstinence. Let me make a quick point for you. Imagine you've gone through molestation, rape, you have body image issues, you've got some things going on underneath the surface. Isn't it logical that it becomes a lot easier for you to choose abstinence because it falls in line with being honorable according to your Christian faith, right? So now you can use abstinence as a reason to not deal with things that are very triggering for you or traumatic for you, or you're insecure, or you've got some issues with your body image, your self-confidence, your sexuality. You've had some trauma in these areas. Something's gone on, but you don't really consciously realize you're choosing abstinence because of trauma. You say, wow, I'm right. Respect my queen. Yes. It's like you literally are saying it's God's way to be abstinent, right? So I'm going to be abstinent over here, but not realizing it's actually denial. It's actually deference. It's actually you trying to avoid dealing with some deeper issues that you don't want to deal with, and your brain is trying to protect you from having to deal with that. So it's much easier to fall up underneath something called abstinence that says, see, I'm a good woman. I'm practicing abstinence. It's God's way. I'm a woman of faith. I'm a woman of God, right? So what we've seen in relationships and marriages, so let's just say all of that goes to the point where you do meet someone and now you're in a relationship and he goes to touch you or kiss you, and now you've got some issues, ladies. You get to the honeymoon and you thought you could just flip the switch, and now all of a sudden the sex switch is on instead of off, when you just spent the last 2 to 5 years with the light switch off, and you think you can just switch that on and all of a sudden become freaky, sexy, wifey. And you go to be in this relationship or your marriage, and all of a sudden you try to flip that light switch, and here come all your issues raging back, right? Because it's really rooted in trauma and pain and issues, right? And so now you're newly married or you're in a new relationship, but all kinds of mess is coming to the surface that you didn't even realize or you were even in denial of. And then we also see situations where you stay in denial, and now you're blaming your husband. He's not sensitive. You admit to him you were raped, but now he's not sensitive because he's still wanting sex from me. Honey, he married you so he could have sex with you. He put a ring on it so he could have sex with you. So then you have men who feel bamboozled because he thought we were waiting for the honeymoon. He thought we were waiting, to be legal and be married and take our vows. And it's going to be freaky fest and it's on and popping. And that's what he thought he was waiting on. But he gets now on the other side of the aisle. And now, wait a minute. Well, I'm still not getting the sex, and she's not freaky like she said she was, and she's not putting it on me, and I done got married and I love my wife, but now I can't touch her because touching her triggers her. These are real stories, y'all, real stories from behind the scenes. So one of the other cons of abstinence is you don't even know how to date. Because part of putting sex off limits, because most people lack spiritual maturity and spiritual discipline, so you put sex off limits, which really means you put men off limits. So you don't even date, and you go into this Christian, theology where you are just waiting for God to drop a man in your lap. So the subconscious psychology becomes, God's going to bring my husband. No lie, years ago, a woman booked a consultation with me, a coaching consultation. She was 55 years old and she was still a virgin. And when I got in the consultation with her, her mindset about all of it was so skewed and so jacked up, you guys. 55, and she was a virgin, and she was wearing that like a badge of honor. And I'm thinking, if you wanted to be a nun, you should have just really joined the nunnery, right? You should have really just given your life over to, committed to not ever having, human interaction, right? Sexual, because you've been missing out on a whole part of life. But she thought it was honorable because the Christian programming had backed her into a very lonely corner. Because what she did by leading every conversation with men with this whole abstinence, celibate, and they love to use the word celibate. Celibate is not the same. I mean, she really was celibate. She'd never had sex. She wasn't never having sex. But abstinence, guys, so dating now becomes problematic. You don't know how to interact with men because you're not dating. You don't even know, you have no confidence having conversations with men, going on dates with men. Then you're struggling between the boundaries and the lines of femininity and being sexy. If you do go on a date, this is what I've seen with clients, you dress in like you're going to church, or you're dressing like you're going to work, because you don't really have dating clothes, because now you're conflicted about being too sexy, too feminine, or too provocative, because you're not trying to lead someone because you're leading with I'm abstinent. So you're so conflicted about all of this energy. So literally most celibate women or most abstinent women hardly date at all, or they're just not dating. They're not out here in the game actually dating, right? That's right. You can't start a date with I'm celibate. You cannot. Okay, come over here for a sidebar one more time. Sidebar. Right? Those of you who are abstinent, I'm going to make a very key point that you may not really think about, because Christianity gets you so skewed to where you don't even realize how inappropriate it is for you to talk about your sex life on a first, second, or third date. Of all the things to bring up, the last thing in the world you should be bringing up as a topic is sex. Because that's not even on the table. Not even on the table. You just met this person, but then in the first conversation, the first date, you're like, oh, by the way, I'm abstinent. Because you're wearing it on your sleeve. Because truth be told, you have anxiety, you're anxious, you're not comfortable in your own skin, and you're not comfortable and strong in your abstinence. So you lead with the abstinence because you're afraid of a man trying you or testing you, because you're afraid that you'll give in. So you lead with it like an armor, right? Like an armor, like a shield, right? I'm abstinent. Now what? And if you don't agree to that, this is never going to work. Honey, he don't even know you. He is not emotionally bonded with you. He don't know you from Eve. You think now you're leading with this very strong, resolution, and you are a stranger. And he's like, okay, I really didn't even ask you all that. I don't even know that I want to have sex with you. Here you are talking about your sex life on your first phone call or first date with a man. That is so inappropriate. That should not even be a topic. You don't even know if you like each other. Just saying, right? Stop and think about that. So that was the sidebar. Come back over here. So you don't know how to date. Now here's what happens. Because you put sex off limits, now we're putting men off limits, right? We're putting men off limits. Now, because subconsciously you're saying, God's going to drop my husband in my lap. God's going to do it. Jesus is going to do it. God's got my Boaz. God's got my man. I know, right? It's coming. So now you back to, what did I say about good-hearted people? What did I say about nice people? You are prey. So the first man that hits on you, or you happen to meet, or your family says, oh yeah, Susie's cousin just moved to Atlanta, honey. You need to meet him. You need to meet him. He's awesome. Tommy's great. And he's a man of God. He loves God. Now the first knucklehead that rolls up on you, that even says half the right things to you, who's cute to you, or you may like him, or he's attractive, you're going to be like, he's got to be the one. And all that vetting and qualifying goes out the door because because subconsciously you've been believing God's going to drop your husband in your lap. But now you become prey and vulnerable to all the shenanigans of the players and the losers or the guys that just want to sleep with you, because now you don't know how to navigate. You don't know how to vet. You're easy. You're actually easy because you haven't been dating. Now you're sexually repressed. You're lonely. Deep down, you're afraid that you're not going to meet anyone. And that's a vicious cycle. So you're now repressed sexually. You're lonely. Deep down, you're afraid that you might not meet anyone and you might not get married and end up like the 55-year-old virgin who booked a consultation with me years ago, right? So now, right? You're actually setting yourself up for the first dude that comes along and hollers at you. You're rushing in because guess what else you tend to do when you're abstinent? You're going to rush into a relationship or rush into a marriage. This is how people get married really fast, right? Known somebody 90 days, talking about getting married. You've known somebody 4 months, 6 months, and you're ready to get married. Why? Because you're rushing. Because it's got to be God, right? Because you just knew God was going to bring your husband. No. Now you get in a situation where you didn't take the time and you're with somebody who's manipulating, scamming you, getting over on you, hiding things from you, got secrets, you name it, because you don't know how to date. So you're not used to navigating all of that, right? Most women aren't good at it anyway, much less when you haven't dated at all because of the abstinence, right? So, pros, you're able to hold yourself back, but you got to keep dating, right? You can't cut yourself off from the opposite sex. This is going to require spiritual maturity, spiritual discipline. So you're still meeting men, going on dates, staying in touch with your femininity, right? Being able to know how to navigate conversations and interactions with men to where you're confident with that, right? But yet not holding yourself off completely and being able to have a high IQ when it comes to dating and men so that you're taking your time and making sure that people are who they say they are. Those are the biggest cons that I've seen with abstinence. What if a guy says after 2 years of abstinence that he is non-communal because he knows where the Lord leads him? He is non-communal. Is it non-committal? What if a guy says after 2 years of abstinence that he is non-committal because he knows where the Lord leads him? I don't understand the question. You have to ask me the question a different way. You said surrender to God. Yeah, surrendering to God has nothing to do with cutting yourself off from even dating. That has to do with fear and lack of discipline, right? Nikki says faith without works is dead. Thank you, Miss Pink Secrets. I'm paying attention, but your skin. Thank you, love. For those with any relationship process right now, be aware, choose correctly, but do not get in a so slow way. Let's enjoy life. No more times urging. Let me see. How do you set the boundaries of abstinence? So this is how you set the boundaries of abstinence. If you're really serious about being abstinent, it's really, really simple. You're not going to be in any private, secluded situations. If you're really serious about being abstinent, you can date, you can go on dates, you can be in public, you can go and have fun, you can do all kinds of stuff. You can be going out, you can be getting to know people, but you're not Netflix and chilling. Because you have to remember, ladies, that while you're abstinent, 99% of the time, the men you meet and date are not abstinent, and he will hit it the first chance he gets. He can love you enough and like you enough that he's going along with it. He can even be loving you and liking you enough that he's going to eventually marry you. But even if he's going to eventually marry, he's still going to hit it. He still wants you, right? He's agreeing to the abstinence because he loves you, right? And then there's the guy who's just agreeing to the abstinence while he's over there still sleeping with someone else. That's real talk. That's mostly the situation. And you need to be aware of that. That a man will date you and be agreeing and honoring you not wanting to have sex, but he still has a sex partner that he's having sex with somewhere else, right? Somewhere else. Lena Boo, she says abstinence probably isn't recommended. It's a personal choice, Lena Boo. It's a personal choice. It's up to you to decide how you want to live your life and how you want to navigate. I think abstinence is very wise in our current culture. I think that navigating all of these shenanigans and craziness out here, guys, is absolutely nuts. I think it's wise to be abstinent. I think it's wise to hold yourself back and not give yourself sexually to people just because you think it's going somewhere. Just because you feel like this is going to be a relationship, or just because we're in a committed relationship and we're 90 days in and now you have sex. Guys, listen, what I know about dating now, you could be feeling like this is amazing today, and next week you discover something about him that is a complete deal breaker, and now it's over. And if you keep repeating that cycle enough, right, you're getting yourself in situations where you've been sexually active with men, you're getting heartbroken, you're getting emotional. It's just these cycles of heartbreak, rejection, and disappointment that you will go through. Because what I've seen in the dating cycles is that literally finding like that one special person, you're going to have to be patient. It takes time. It's a special, special thing. And so you jumping in and giving your all to somebody, so quickly, I think abstinence is wise. I just want you to learn how to be abstinent and date. Be abstinent and still be getting to know people. Be abstinent and still be going out on dates. You can be on the dating app. You can be getting to know people. The man that's right for you, ladies, is going to do whatever you require of him to have you. Because the man you're going to marry is going to be absolutely crazy about you. Absolutely crazy about you. He's not going to be like anybody else you've ever met. He's going to be very special. He's going to love you, fall in love with you. And it's literally, he just wants you to be happy. Now, of course, you offer him sex, he's going to have it. He's going to want it. Right? But at the end of the day, the man you're going to marry is very special for you. For you. So you're going to kiss some frogs before you get to that prince. You see what I'm saying? Like this is not our grandmama's dating scene, right? This is not the 1950s. This is not the 1960s. It is not. What if you're focusing on you and working on yourself, but since you are secure in your femininity, the tension keeps coming? Do you just ignore or just build friendships? I don't really believe in friendships too much, in Neeks. I think that any man, ladies, if you are an attractive woman and men just genuinely like you in general, any man who's pretending to just be your friend really does want to sleep with you. If there is any level of physical attraction either way, that's not really a friendship. Think about it. You don't want to sleep with your friends. Think about friendship. Friendship is not sexual attraction. That is in the romantic category. And I think women trick themselves into thinking that men are friends, but really he wants to be with you. He wants to sleep with you. At the least, he wants to sleep with you. And he's just waiting for his opportunity or hoping that you begin to see him in the same way. That's what I've learned over the years. Very few situations, ladies, where a man just wants to be your friend and wouldn't take sex if you offered it. Hello. Come on now. Right? How do we stay encouraged during the dating process? It's exhausting. Curly Ariana, I used to take breaks. I would date. And I would kind of like, I ain't feeling this. And I would get off the apps and I would just take a break and I would just focus on my business, focus on my family, focus on me. And then when I felt like dating again, I'd pick it back up and I would date some more and meet people and have fun. I only dated as long as it was fun. If you haven't learned how to date and have fun with dating, guys, the last thing you want to be doing is going on dates feeling like you have to and feeling like it's a chore. So I used to take breaks. Because you don't want to be like, oh, I gotta go on this date because I want to meet someone, but I hate dating. And you're not even looking forward to the date because you're not even vibing with the person or anything like that. Take a break. And don't even go on dates unless you're vibing. Do not go on dates just for date's sake. Go on dates when you feel the vibe. Remember how yesterday I talked about those conversations with Carrie were so off the chain? and it was just like, oh my God, I can't wait to meet him. If you get on the phone with people, guys, and it's not vibing on the phone, there's not an energy on the phone where you're like, oh, I would like to actually meet them in person. I would actually like, to be around them, see them. If that's not the vibe, don't go on a date. If you can't simply communicate with someone, remember, back to the foundation of true partnership and really great and healthy relationships, it's like friendship. You've got to like them, genuinely be able to like them. And if you don't, there's nowhere for it to go. Communication should not be forced. Talking to each other should not be forced. It should flow. And if it doesn't, keep it moving. Yes. Okay, let me come down. Yeah, these men aren't your friends. They trying to hit. You're right. Lena Boo said, agreed. I thought I had a male friend, then he tried to kiss me. Thank you. Yeah, they ain't trying to be friends. Guys, and see, guys, you guys have to understand. Most of the time, like if a man is saying his friend, he's hit. They've had sex. Okay? If they say, oh, that's my friend, it could be the unattractive friend girl, one of the guys, and they still have had sex. You understand what I'm saying? Like men, what I've learned about men is men will nearly have sex with anybody and anyone, especially if it's a secret or nobody has to know, or their homeboys don't got to know, or their mama don't got to know. Nobody, right, has to know. I'm just telling you what I know. Hi, sweetheart in Singapore. What do you say to women who are early mid-30s and want to find someone serious and scared if more years go by they can't have kids? Freeze your eggs. Freeze your eggs, sweetheart, till you meet somebody special. I mean, that's what I would say. Freeze your eggs so you'll be able to have a baby later. Why not? Because you can't control it. I mean, guys, the only thing I know you can do to attract love is work on you and be the best you that you can be. Make sure that you don't have any trauma and pain blocking love, but really truly finding mutual soulmate purpose partner love is a timing thing. It's timing. And you are not in control of when that shows up, except for what you do in the personal work side. And this is for the ladies, right? For the ladies, manifesting love has everything to do with you being ready for true love. You may think you're ready for true love, except, like I tell people all the time, if I had met Carrie a year before I had met him, I wouldn't have been ready for him. There were some things I had to work through. There were some things he was perfect for me, but a year before, I wouldn't have known that. I wouldn't have recognized that. Would you say dating multiple men is good? Yes, because men are dating multiple women. Yes. When you meet a man, you should be assuming that he is already seeing at least one or two women if he's single, and he is sleeping with at least one woman when you meet him. So why would you go into a situation with someone you barely know, begin to put all your eggs in that one basket, and he has not done that and made that commitment? You have to assume when you meet a man that he is currently sleeping with someone, that he has got a sex partner. Thank you, sweetheart. You said, I'm married, but that is excellent dating advice. Thank you, sweetie. I find myself feeling guilty for not liking guys because my family friends say I'm too picky, but I don't feel the connection. Florencia, that's a very complicated assessment, because I've seen it go both ways. I've seen where women are being way too picky because your expectations are way too high and they're too ridiculous. And then I've also seen where you could have gone through pain, trauma, issues that make you literally create all of these hurdles that men have to jump through to try to get close to you, because your brain is subconsciously trying to protect you from getting hurt, So you just create such ridiculously high, picky standards that no one can get over that wall. No one can get over that fence. I've seen lots of situations. And Florencia, depending on your age, when people are younger, they create all of these expectations around what they expect in their partner. And then as you get older and you get more wisdom and experience, you start getting like what I consider more realistic, because you start realizing that a lot of the theories and expectations and all the pickiness you created in your 20s are not what is really important when you're in your 30s and 40s. So things start to shift and things start to change. How do you heal? How do you forgive yourself, Tolu, from sexual guilt from failed relationships? Sexual guilt from failed relationships. So you feel guilty for having sex in previous relationships? Is that what we're talking about, Tolu? If so, honey, you just have to be able to walk through a forgiveness process for yourself. I mean, you have to understand that God is a God of love. There is no situation where God is holding guilt over you. That is something you've created in your mind, or a programming or conditioning or core belief that you've taken on that is causing guilt in your mind. That is not coming from God. God is not sitting and judging you over your past. The only place that exists is in your mind. In your mind. What advice would you give someone who hasn't dated in a while but is ready to start again? Like I said yesterday, if I hadn't been on dating apps, I would have never had any dates, LA Brown. So if I were you, I would definitely think about getting on dating apps. On those dating apps, you want to make sure you put up the best, most amazing pictures of yourself, 2 or 3 pictures, not a bunch of pictures. And you want to, lead with how you look on a date. Those pictures need to look like a preview of a coming attraction. Right? You need to market yourself on those dating apps and look really amazing. And then you do a really great job of vetting and qualifying the people that message you. Yep. And start, communicating. And one of the things that's helps a lot with dating, you guys, is just being casual, just being relaxed, no pressure. And that's part of why you have to get out of this frame of mind where you're dating like, are you the one? Are you the one? Are you the one? That puts too much pressure on the whole situation. Yep. Ending says, they always make it seem like they are only focused on you and dating, but they are out in these streets. I think it's a control thing. It is. And men naturally are territorial. So he could be doing whatever he wants, but if he's dating you, he doesn't want you dating anybody else. And men are very slyly manipulative, ladies. It's just in their nature. It's part of their biology. They literally say little things and start edging you more and more towards only dating him, trying to make you feel guilty if you are dating anybody else, but yet they haven't had a commitment conversation with you, have not committed to only dating you, but yet he's edging you and backing you into a corner where he wants you to only be dating him because he doesn't want you dating anybody else while he's out here doing whatever he wants. And that's just something that men do. Like breathing. And if you let them do that, you will be dating someone. And this is how so many people end up in situationships, because you are committed, but you're the only one committed because you done backed out and not dating anybody else while he's out here doing whatever he wants. And now you keep saying, well, what are we? What are we doing? Where is this going? And he don't want to have that conversation, and it stays very vague because men love to keep it in the gray area. They don't want to have those black and white conversations. So keep it in the gray, keep stringing you along, and he's still doing whatever he wants. And technically he can do that because if you even catch him anything, he's like, well, we're not in a relationship. And he never had a commitment conversation with you. You just decided to put all your eggs in his basket. But then he can play dumb, like he didn't back you into that or want you to be doing that whenever you're trying to call him out on the status of what you guys are or if you're committed or not. I tried giving a guy I wasn't really into like that a fair chance and started feeling guilty for stringing him along. He kept buying me gifts and taking me on lavish dates. I broke things off. Yeah, if you're not into someone, guys, if you're not into someone, then do not keep seeing them. Why do men wife up a woman that's less attractive than you? Well, Katie, Suzette, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You may think in your mind like she's less attractive than you, but there's something about her that he digs, right? And literally, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. People have weighed like different preferences about all kinds of things. What's beautiful to one man is not beautiful to another one. So you could say, oh, I'm universally attractive. Okay, but a man could love, you could be a curvy size 8 and he loves size 2. Well, to him, you're not attractive because he wants a size 2 and you just never knew that. Right? I mean, literally, men definitely have types, guys. Definitely have types. They have things that do it for them. When I was matchmaking, there would be men who love freckles, men who love short hair like Halle Berry, men who, men, when they're really honest about what really does it for them, they do have very specific things that they really like and really like turns them on. What do you think about physical attraction leading your dating experience? There has to be physical attraction. You have to remember, guys, you're going to wake up with this person. You're going to marry it and commit to this person for the rest of your life. It's not even worth getting married if you're not attracted to someone and don't genuinely like someone. You're better off just being by yourself, because you're waking up and looking at somebody like, oh God, why did I marry you? Like, he's okay. You don't want to do that the rest of your life. You might as well be free. Why would you commit your life to someone you're not physically attracted to? Doesn't make sense. Is being transparent with a man a bad thing? No, I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean, I think at the end of the day, you have to understand that these are strangers. You don't need to be telling your whole life story to people you just meet. You may not even be hanging out with them next week. Florencia says, I just don't feel like I have to date someone who looks like Carl Winslow Jr. to say I have a man. Yes. Yeah, Carrie just said from a man's perspective, she may not be as attractive of you, but he said he feels safe with her. She has created a safe place for his heart and fears. That's a good one. Yep. It's a really good one. All right, guys, I'm about to get off here. This was my abstinence conversation. I did my live for the day. What? I did it. All right, guys, I love you. Blessings in abundance. I'll make sure this goes up on YouTube. And I'm getting your emails. Don't forget, I'm going to start the live show. If you want to be a guest on my show to get some coaching, get some answers to what you're struggling with or specifically what you're going through, make sure you send an email to live@RebeccaLynnPope.com if you want to be a guest on my live show. And you're going to come on Instagram and we're actually going to go live together and you're going to come on and share the screen. Lena, this is off subject, but what kind of moisturizer you use? Your skin is flawless. I'm going to bring my moisturizer. I'm going to bring my whole system on and do a video on it, Lena, because I do love it. It literally makes me glow. Like the whole cleansing system, scrub, everything I use is absolutely amazing. Got it from our esthetician. We get facials like once a month. And it's absolutely amazing. Because yeah, all this is I think a serum and a moisturizer after cleansing, after I got a shower. Yep, it's just a moisturizer. It's amazing. Yeah, so I will share it. I don't even know the name of it offhand, but I'll share it. We want more, right? I know. Is that in the business field? Yes, for lives. We can talk about business. Yep, we can talk about business. We can talk about whatever you want. Send in your emails. She uses Love by Carrie. You know what? You're so crazy. Yeah, send in your emails for live@RebeccaLynnPope.com if you want to be a guest to come live with me and discuss any topic you want. We can discuss any topic you want live about life, love, business, dating, men, whatever you want. I really want to start opening that up so we can really get some great conversations and do some live coaching and really show that we're able to make a difference in people's lives. Real professional coaching, you guys, is not about bashing anyone. It's not about just highlighting the issues and then not providing solutions. It is about helping people to successfully navigate life and pointing them in the direction the direction to get the help and the resources and tools to help them heal, help them to navigate and be successful, to live abundantly, right? So I want to start doing more of that live. So that's why we're going to start having guests and actually answering questions live with the guests, okay? All right, blessings and abundance. Don't forget to send in your emails live at RebeccaLynnPope.com. Yes, Irina, spirit-led, heart-centered coaching. Yes. And don't forget, summer certification is open. We have opened up enrollment for summer certification. We start May 17th. That's okay, Miss Pink Secret. Send your topic or question, maybe a whole paragraph. That's right. Send the email live at RebeccaLynnPope.com. And summer certification is open. Starts May 17th. Click the link in my bio. You'll be able to sign up, get some more information. You want to make sure you're in there. If you're a healer, you're an empath, you need to make sure you're getting that coaching certification so you can start making a difference. You are needed. We are needed. Okay. We're starting a healing movement and you need to be part of that. Okay. You too, sweetheart, Madeline. Thank you for your wisdom again. Have a good night. Good night, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.